Okay. Am I audible and you able to see the screen?
Yes, Didi.
Okay. So today we will start with the 11th chapter, and this is actually about the Vishwa Rupa Darshan. Okay. The form of the God actually described in this chapter. So there are the 55 verses, and this is a darshan of the God in a very huge form. So the shloka in which description of the huge form is in the 10th and the 11th one of the chapter 11. It is अनेक वक्त्रयदयं मनेकाः अद्भुत दर्शनम् अनेक दिव्याभरणं दिव्यानेकोद्यहत्युयुधम् दिव्या माल्यारम् अंबरधरम् दिव्या गंधानुलेपनम् सर्वाश्चर्यमयं देवमनत्तम् विश्वतो मुखम. So it means ki in that cosmic form, Arjuna saw itself actually the unlimited eyes and faces. He decorated with many celestial ornaments and the wielding many kinds of divine weapons. What Arjuna saw actually the God itself in a huge form, in a Virat Swarup, in a Vishwarup Darshan. So he wore many garlands on his body and was anointed with many sweet smelling heavenly fragrances. So he revealed himself as a wonderful and infinite Lord whose face is everywhere. Okay, that is a Virat Darshan of the God actually, a description in this chapter. So next chapter is about the Bhakti Yoga, the one of the smallest chapter of verses, only 20 verses. Usually people who want to read the Bhagavad Gita start with this chapter only because it is about the devotion. So the nature of the devotion described in this in the second verse Shri Bhagavanu Vacha मय्या वैश्य मनो ये मान नित्य युक्ता उपासते श्रद्धया पर्योपेतास्ते मे युक्त तमामताः. Okay, and let me enter someone who wants to. Okay, okay, fine. So in this verse, the Lord said, "Those who fix their minds on me." कि मैया वैश्य मनो ये मान means कि the Lord said कि fix your mind only on me in and engage in my devotion with a steadfast faith. मतलब with the ultimate determination. No other things should come in your mind. Then I consider them to be the best yogis who have totally faithful, totally devoted to the God. They are the actual yogis according to the Lord. In the next shloka, in the 6th and the 7th one, yeah. ये तु सर्वाणि कर्माणि मयि सन्न्यस्य मत्परः अनन्यैनैव योगेन माम ध्यान्यान्तुपासते तेषामहं समुद्धर्ता मृत्यु संसार सागरात् भवामि न चिरात् पार्थ मय्यावेशित चेतसाम्. It means, but those who dedicate all their actions to me, regarding me as a supreme goal, worshipping me and meditating on me with exclusive devotion. So hope, O part, matlab, hey Arjuna, I swiftly delivered them from the ocean of the birth and the dead, and for their consciousness is united with me. This is for who the people who totally devoted their life, their whole thing, their mind to God only. तो सब important points are there कि what is the order of superiority. It means कि knowledge is better than the practice. It means कि ज्ञान योग्य, okay, is better than the practice, and the better than knowledge is the meditation. So better than the jnana yoga is the dhyana yoga. And what is the better than meditation? So better than meditation is the unification of the fruits of the action, means the karma yoga, ultimate peace. Okay. So next is the 13th chapter about the Kshetragya Vibhaga Yoga. 34 verses are there. In this, there is a description of the Kshetra and the Kshetragya. Okay. In
Please, can you go back to the previous slide for just one
yeah,
second?
yeah, sure. You want to take screenshot?
Yeah.
Okay, I will share the PDF with you.
Okay.
I will share. Actually, yesterday I will not able to convert this word file. This is actually the word file into the other one. I will share itself in the PDF form. Today you will get. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So 13th chapter is about the Kshetragya. So in this verse, in the second verse is this is the first one actually. It's let me change it. Idam one is the okay. Sixteenth. Yeah. Sorry. This is the one. Okay. So in this shloka, idam shariram kaunteya kshetra mitya bhidhiyate etadyo veiti tam prahuha kshetragya iti tadvidadaha. It means the Supreme Divine Lord said, hey Arjuna, this body is termed as Kshetra. So here the Kshetra is nothing, but it is defined as a body actually. The body is called as Kshetra in this chapter. Okay, the field of the activities where we do many actions. And the one who knows this body is called Kshetragya. Matlab, who knows the field ki this body is nothing, but we have in this body only to perform the various actions. So by the sages who discern the truth about both. So the sages only knows about this body and to the deeds which we are performing with the help of this body. So this is actually about the Kshetra and Kshetragya. Okay. In next, what is the form of Kshetra? So definition, malab the description in this is actually about the, it's a Mahabhuta actually. It's a fifth verse. This is also written wrong. Let me correct. Yeah. This is Mahabhutanya Ahankaro Buddhir Vyaktamev cha Indriyayani Dashakaikam cha Panchaha chain Indriya Gocharaha. It means the field, this what which field? The Kshetra, the body. This is composed of the 5 great elements, the Panch Mahabhuta, which are those: the earth, the sky, the water, and wind, and the last is the fire. And these are the 5 great elements. And this field is composed of what? The ego, the intellectual, and the unmanifest primordial matter also. And what else? It also composed of the 11 senses. The 11 senses are which one? The 5 knowledge senses, Gyanendriya, 5 working senses, Karmendriya, and mind. Okay, and also the five objects of the senses. Okay, so Karmendriya, Gyanendriya, and the five objects of the senses also. So this knowledge helps us realize and understand the existence of our soul, and this is the Kshetragya, or the knower of the field. Who knows about all this Kshetra is also the Kshetragya. Okay. Next is the 14th chapter about Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. There are the 27 verses in this chapter also. The important things which we have to actually read or remember in these chapters are described here only. The 14th chapter is about the three gunas, the origin of the three gunas. Which are those gunas? The Satta, Sattva, Raja, and the Tama. So these are the three gunas which are present in our body and our act, and many things are related to these gunas only. Okay, in the 5th chapter, it's the, in this shlok it is said, the Sattvam Rajastam iti gunaha prakriti sambhavaha nibandhanti mahabaho dehe dehin ma vyayam. It means ki Lord Krishna said to Arjuna ki, O mighty armed Arjun, the material energy consists of three gunas. Okay, so three modes. What are those? The Sattva, the light or the goodness, the Rajas, passion or the activity, Tamas, ignorance or the false knowledge. These modes bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. The soul actually, it's only the reflection what is actually related to those gunas which we see through this body only. And there are the forms of the Sattva. Yeah, in the next 6th one, Tatra Sattvam Nirmalatva Prakashaham Manyayam Sukh Sangen Badhanati Jnana Sangen Chanagdha. So it means ki amongst these Satguna, the most of the goodness, the actually it reflects the light, being purer than the others. It is the best one actually among the other gunas, is illuminating and the full of well-being. O sinless one, it binds the soul by creating attachment for a sense of happiness and knowledge. So if the person has the Satagun in his body, or the presence of the Satagun more in himself, then he may have the sense of happiness and the right knowledge also. What he will do reflects in his action also related to the Satguna. Then the next one is the Rajas Gun. The nature of the Rajas Gun is actually about the Rajo Ragatmakam Vidhi Trishna Sang Samudra Bhavam Tanni Bandhanati Kaunteya Karma Sangena Dehinam. So, O Arjuna, Rajaguna is the nature of the passion. Rajas Guna is related to the passion or the action or the activity. So it arises from the worldly desires and the affections and binds the soul through attachment of the fruitive actions. So with the help of the actions only we perform what the deeds we have to do. So any action if you are performing, that is related to the Rajas Guna also. Okay, but what type of action you are doing, that is also related to the then the gunas also. If you are doing the good one to help others, then are related to the Satguna. If you are only think about yourself for protection of yourself, then may be related to the Rajas Guna. And if you harm other people, then those are the Tamas Guna actions. Okay, then further actions may be related to all these things. Then the last one is the nature of the Tamoguna. The Tamoguna is about the tamas Tamasva Jnanajam Vidhi Mohanam सर्वदेही नाम प्रमाद आलस्य निद्राभिस्त निबंधनाति भारत. So, ho Arjuna, he Bharataha, tamoguna. Tamgun is which is born of the ignorance. It is a cause of the illusion for this embodied souls. Okay, it creates a lot of illusions. Then the different things or give the false knowledge. Actually, it dilutes all living beings from through the negligence, laziness, sleep. All these are the qualities of the tamas guna. Okay, next is the fifth chapter, that is the Purushottam Yoga. Here, actually, there is a description of the people tree. It's like a world, actually. The world is described as a people tree. In this, there this is also the smallest one chapter after the 12th one. 12th one has the 20 word verses, and the fifth chapter Purushottam Yoga, there here it is also the 20 verses. Okay, the people who wants to read the Bhagavad Gita or to remember the Bhagavad Gita, but if you start with the first chapter, it's very difficult to remember all the 700 verses. So it's preferred to start with the Bhakti Yoga, the 12th chapter, then with the 15th chapter, and then the later on. Okay, so these two are the smallest chapter. Okay, the with this 28 shlokas only. So, world is like a people tree. The description here, Lord Krishna is gives ki Shri Krishna compares the material world to an upside down Ashwatha tree. Upside down. Matlab the stem is actually upwards, and the branches and the leaves are towards the downward side. So, on the branches of this mysterious tree, the embodied souls wander up and down from lifetime after lifetime. It's like the cycle of the birth and the death. Actually, they are unable to comprehend its origin, age, expense, and how it continues to grow. So like a tree, it you can't make it out ki from it is started or from it ends na. It jo the world is like this only. So they are unable to comprehend ki where it started, what is the age, hai na, how much it expand. So the comparison of the world is the like a tree. However, as God is the source of this tree, its roots face upwards towards the sky, as it is in the downward, okay, upside down. So its leaves are the fruitive activities defined in the Vedas. Okay, the three gunas irrigate this tree. This tree actually got the irrigation, the water and the whatever the nutrition he gets through the three gunas, which creates the objects of the senses. I told you abhi, right now ki our all actions or our all the deeds or even through the every purva sanskar also are related to our gunas also. Though the creation of any creature, actually the starting of any creature also relates to these gunas. So though these gunas creates the objects of our senses also, that like birds on the tree branches. Then later on, these birds bloom like a flower, depends upon which type of guna is related to that bird. So these birds sprout aerial roots. Aerial roots, you know very well. Those are goes towards the in the opposite direction as the roots from the these aerial roots basically opposite of the main roots. Okay, that further propagate this ashwatha tree over a large area, and these further roots creates another plant also. New plant may be arise from these roots also. So these birds maybe give rise to this another a plant also through the aerial roots. So by describing in details this symbolism of the upside down ashwatha, it's a sacred fig tree basically. It's a particular tree. It's a tree. It's a sacred fig one. This chapter conveys the concept of how, in ignorance of this tree of the material existence, the embodied souls keep growing their bondages in the material world. Okay. So Sri Krishna declares that if we are searching for the Supreme Lord, then we must first cut all these material existences with the acts of the detachment. All these roots, these aerial roots, we have to cut all these. Then unless and until we came what is the actually the form of the God, then we must look for its base, because the Supreme Lord himself is the source of the material world as well. In the next 16th chapter, it's about a Daivasura Sampada. It's a Vibhag Yoga. Here, there are the 24 stanzas. There is a description of the divine personality in this chapter. Okay. So, divine personality and the demonic wealth. Just a sec. The Supreme Divine Personality said itself, Ki, O scion of Bharata, these are the saintly virtues of those endowed with the divine nature. What type of nature they have? The fearlessness, purity of mind, steadfastness in spiritual knowledge, charity, control of their senses, sacrifice, study of the traditional texts or the sacred books, austerity, straightforwardness, non-violence, truthfulness, absence of anger also, unification, peacefulness, restraint from the fault finding, to find only fault in others. And you have to also control these feeling in yourself also. The compassion towards all living beings, है ना? So like all the yamas, you can say ahimsa, satya, aste, all these are the quality of the divine personality. The absence of the covetousness, gentleness, modesty, lack of fickleness, vigor, forgiveness, fortitudeness, cleanliness, bearing enmity towards the none, and absence of vanity. All these are the divine personality, you can say. So the follower of the yama and the niyama, and in various texts we have already done. So these are the qualities of the personality of the divine person. And other is the demonic wealth, about the description of the demonic wealth in the chapter 4, sorry, shlok 4, in chapter 16 shlok 4 tha. It's written dambho, just a sec. Sorry. Okay. Dambho, दपोर अभिमानश्चः क्रोधः पारुष्यमेवः च अज्ञानम् चाभिजातस्य पार्थः संपदाहम सूर्यगम. So it means कि Lord said here, just a second. So, कि O Parth, the qualities of those who possess a demonic nature by hypocrisy, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, ignorance, these are actually the qualities of that person, है ना? So the important things in this chapter is the result of the divine wealth and the demonic wealth is that if you have a divine personality, then he will get the freedom from all the attachments, from all the desires. And asuri fruit of the demonic personality, he get the bondages to the this materialistic world only. Okay, so description of the three gates of hell also, the 21st shloka is trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashan matmanah kamah krodhastatha lobhastah stamed trayam tyajet. So there are the three gates leading to the hell or the narak dwar, we can say so, of self destruction for the soul. Okay, we harm to only our soul itself if you follow these gates. So these are the gates which are the lust, the anger, and the greed. So therefore one should abandon all these three things to not go towards the hell. Then the second last chapter, it is the 17th one. It's about the Vibhaga Yoga, Shadatraya Vibhaga Yoga. In this, there are the three types of the Shraddha, the devotions, which are actually in of the human nature. Three types: Satvik, Rajasic, and Tamasic. All these are related to the three gunas itself. So now I shall explain them. Listen what God tells in this. Okay. So in the third sutra, according to this, Sattva Anurupa, according to the Sattva Anurupa, Sarvasya Shraddha Bhavati Bharataha Shraddayo Mayo Yayam Purusho Yo Yat Shraddha Sa Va Saha. So for all people, their own individual types of Shraddha, the devotion does exist. What type of gunas also, that is also related to this. Every person possesses some type of Shraddha. Every person has a little bit of Shraddha in itself only. So every person follows a type of Shraddha that exists within him. For what type of Shraddha in me, maybe influenced by my gunas, I will perform that type of activities. So in the fourth one is the Yajante Satvikaha Devanyah Yaksha Rakshasihi Rajasaha Pretan Bhut Ganam Yashanye Yajante Tam Sahajana. So in the Sattvic, people devote themselves to the divine god or the Dev. Rajasic, to the Yaksha or the Rakshasas, those who are opposite of the Devas. And the Tamasic people devote to Bhut, Pret or the Bhutas, the ghost and the demon. So the three types of penases are there. Okay. हाँ. So some are people filled with pride and self-importance, only self-centered people, endless desires. So their Shraddha is sort of different type with the other one. So they are proud of their physical strength. They perform very difficult penances and aesthetic practices that arise in their minds. They are not so much of keen to do the good things for others. They are only self-centered people, which are totally against the prescription of the Shastras. This is basically Rajasic. Sort of, Raja people, the king. He thoughts only about his kingdom, only about himself, only about his people of the he does not concern about the people, but he's self-centered ki, what about my kingdom, how can I expand it, how can I become the more powerful. So sort of the Rajasic gunas are related, you can understand with this example. So some people perform fearsome penances and aesthetic practices which are against the Shastra prescription, and being fueled by their self-importance and pride, and supported by their desires, by their own likes and dislikes, and their own physical strength. So they go on tormenting not only the sense organs of their bodies, but also me, who is residing within them. So God is explaining about this thing ki wo, they actually harm not only to their body, but also God itself, because in each and every human being, God is present actually. So they lack wisdom. Just a second. They lack wisdom, and the people with the Rajasic gunas and intelligence, and are possessed by the demonical characters, the Tamasic. Tamasics, who the people who uh, give harm to other people also. Self-centered one, the Rajasic one, and if the people who uh, give harm to the other people, they have the anger, they have the lust, they are greedy people, though are the Tamasic one. Okay, they have totally the negative type of the personality. So these gunas are also related to our food. What type of food we are taking also reflects in our personality, in our deeds, in our acts. So the food that people love to eat also in the three types, just like the yagya, the tapas, and the charity. Dan also three types. Okay, that they are perform also are the three types. So knows this, so Arjuna. No. Now the food preferred by the Sattvic bhojan, which the food which enhances longevity of the life, which gives up the ayu, which makes our life more long. Foods that gives strength and health. food that enhance mental ease, the food which gives us the happiness, the sukha, the preet, है ना? By seeing that food, we feel the mansik shanti, you can say so. The foods that have liquid content, okay, foods that are smooth in moving through the body, snigdha, with the matlab, lubricating sort of, with the proper lubrication, or with the because lubrication gives by the ghee or these butters like things, है ना? Foods that give long term benefit, foods that are liked by the heart, are the type of the sattvic food. These are all the sattvic food. But people with the rajoguna love the foods which are pungent, katu, sour, like amla, saltish, with more the lavan, okay, very hot, very bitter, tikshna, without liquid content, ruksha, dry, creating thirst. After taking that food, you feel so dryness in your body, and giving sorrow and the sadness are related to the uh, uh, rajasic type of the food. Then the tamasic food is what type of food? Foods cooked before one yama, matlab the previously cooked food which we were left behind na, in our fridges or in our kitchen before the 3 periods time, more than the one yama, so that should not be taken. Foods that are dry and without liquid content, like the uh, what is this, ghata rasam? I don't know what is this ghata rasam. It's actually I don't know about this food ki what type, like, but the food that is totally dry or without any liquid content, that is actually is a tamasic related one. Then the foul smelling food, है ना? Puthi, I don't know about this puthi also, but the foul smelling food which have the bad actually smells starting from that food, the food stored for 1 day or the more, okay, that is a paryusthitam, leftover foods after eaten by others, that is a jhuta bhojan actually, na, the vuchisthanam, the jhuta bhojan we can say so. And the impure foods, amedhyam, impure foods like the all these, the junk foods and the packaged foods, all these are the tamasic foods in this type of the food. Then there are the yagya, the 3 types of yagya also there. So sattvic yagya is approved by the shastras, those which we can understand our bounded duty, and those for doing which we have no desire for any return or benefit, those are actually the sattvic yagya. And if these kind of conditions are satisfied, then that is yagya is a sattvic yagya. And rajasic yagya, राजसिक यज्ञ sort of होता था अश्वमेध यज्ञ to expand his kingdom, है ना? If you remember, in many stories previously also you heard about the many yajna done. Some yajnas are done for the favor of the people. If rain is not coming, for the benefit of the people, if rain will come, the water, their crops will get the water, and then the agriculture can be grown. So, Rajasic Yagna are those. Okay, just. Huh. When a yagya is done with the intention of getting some return benefit from it, and when a yagya is done for becoming famous, when it is done for self importance or the pride, like the Ashwamedh yagya, previously it was done for the self centered or the self benefit. So such yagyas are the rajasic one. Then the tamasic one without following the prescribed procedure, the not according to the our shastras, in which there is no annadana or the distribution of the foods to the needy or to the poor people. The yajna in which the prescribed mantras are not chanted, no mantras actually according to the text, no dakshinas or donation to the retvikas or to the needy people, yagya done without respect and care, there is no shraddha. So such yagya are the tamasic yagya. Then the what is the tapas or the penance is, tapas is basically dehik tapas, Okay. So serving and praying to devas, then to the brahmanas, and to the guru or the panditas, to the wise or the learned one. Okay, then what type of tap we can do? By the clean performing cleanliness and the purity, who have honesty and the truthfulness, arjavam, brahmacharya, who actually um, uh, uh, do the act of the celibacy and performing the act of the non-violence in his life. So these are the aesthetic practices or the penances or the tapas done physically. So what are the oral or the verbal practices or the vachik tapas? Vachik tapas are like uttering words. So, what type of sentences which do not create mental tensions to others? Those are only full of truth, pleasing, and intended to be helpful. So these are the vachik tapas. Your words should be not like this, which gives harm to other people. The what type of words we should speak through our mouth? Those who are the study of the Vedas or the study of the 12 are the Swadhyay. So these are said to be the oral aesthetic practices or the penances or the vachik tapas. And then the manasik tapas. So these are first of all we learned about this the Daihik tapas. By Daihik tapas we perform these acts. Okay, do the cleanliness, purity, honesty, brahmacharya, non-violence, ahimsa, vachik tapas by speak words, and then the mansik tapas. What are the mansik tapas related to our mental work? Keeping a peaceful mind, pleasant mind, keeping silence, control over self, control over emotions. These are the mansik tapas. So what are the three types of the sattvic tapas? So sattvic tapas are also the three types here is described. Tapas done without hankering or return or for some result. Okay, so those if you are dehik, vachik, or the mental things, but without fear, the desire of gaining against that act is basically the sattvic tapas, and the tapas done by the yogis and done by the people with great shraddha or the devotion, and these are the sattvic tapas. All these three can be physical, verbal, or mental: daihik, manasik, and the vachik. Okay, tan, man, and the vachan. Okay. Next is the Rajasic tapas. Rajasic tapas are what type of tapas? So done for the name and the frame, done for being decorated and the revered by the others, self-importance, content with pride. So these are the Rajasic tapas, which is neither permanent nor firm in this world. Then the Tamasic one, that is done with the foolish stubbornness, unnecessary, making nonsense type of things, which is done because of the tormenting inner self, harming other people, and destroying or harming others. So these are the tamasic ascetic practices. We should not perform like this. So charities are also related to the these gunas, the dan basically. So sattvic charity or sattvic dan is charity that is appropriate for the place, time, and the person. Depends ki, for what purpose you are doing. The person who cannot reciprocate, and the charity which is justified and properly given actually, hai na? So that is a sattvic charity. Rajasic is expecting a return favor. When you are giving a charity in a dharamshala by donating a fan, you display your names on the wings of that ceiling fan. Ki this fan is donated by the such and such person. There are the name of the donors on the tiles of the building, you can see in many temples or on the dharam places whenever you go. So these are sort of the Rajasic charity. And what is done with some return benefit in view? Obviously, you will become the member of Falana Falana Trust Management by donating this money. है ना? You will become the managing member of the managing committee. Then you will get the VIP favor, है ना? So those are sort of the Rajasic one. And what is given with great hesitation or under pressure? Okay, so like the very the confused people, oh my god, everybody is looking for me, I have to now, and they just give a small amount of money, so in a great hesitation on the pressure. So such charities are the Rajasic one. Then what is a Tamasic charity? Tamasic charity, that dan or charity which is inappropriate for the place, time, person, and who is unfit for it, which is given as a harmful act, which is given carelessly. So those are the Tamasic one. And the last chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is the 18th chapter, that is the Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, and there are the 78 verses here. So sacrifices are described in this chapter. So three types of sacrifices that is also related to our gunas. So first is the tamasic sacrifice. So tamasic sacrifice is the act of giving up one is scheduled actions due to the attachment. That is the action which is renounced by turning away from duty. Okay, not performing his duty well, removed actually herself or himself from that act actually. That is basically his duty. So like for example, after getting married, turning away from the one's duty and taking up renunciation is a tamasic. So it's better to perform all your duties when you are in the grahastha ashram. You should not you should not take away from all those remove from all these duties. You can't yourself hide from all those duties. You have to first of all do your homely duties, then you can go for the your liberation movement, or you should go for the devotion of for to the supreme god. Okay na? Rajasic one is the Rajasic person who renounces his prescribed action considering them troublesome. Okay, ki by they are some actions which they are also not performing with their the happy mind actually, na the those sacrifices, they also make them troublesome. So those are the Rajasic one. And the Sattvic one is a when a man can consider his assigned duty, so he think this duty is given by me, by the god itself. This is my only work. First of all, I have to complete this. So those duties are the sort of sattvic sacrifices, and gives up all material association. He gives up all his desires, all his attachment, and the result is then his renunciation is called the sattvic. All those people, if get the liberation, first of all, if they have some something left behind in their mind, like ki, this act is causing trouble to me, I'm doing this act in a very pressure manner, then that act is not the actually the sattvic one. And to perform the sattvic sacrifices, we have to leave all the desires, all the attachments, then and unless and until that sacrifice will be the sattvic one. The 5 reasons for the accomplishment of the deeds are in this shloka. This shloka is which one? Is 14th one in described in the chapter 18th. Let me make it out. Okay. अधिष्ठानम तथा कर्ता करण च पृथ विगदवधम विविधाश्च पृथक वेष्टः दैवम चैवात्रः पंचमम. So in this the body the doer, means who was the doer? The soul. The senses, the five senses, the many kinds of efforts, and the divine providence. These are the five factors of the action. All these things are related to our actions. Actually, they have impact on our actions, our body, the soul, the senses, all those things, our gunas also. So in this verse, the adhishthanam means the place of the residence, the which place? This body itself, that refers to the body, since karmas can only be performed when the soul is situated in the bodies. Okay, so we have this doer present in this body. So karta is who? The doer, the soul. Here the soul is referred as a karta or the doer. Although the soul itself does not perform action, but with the help of this body, he is actually doing action. So it inspires a mind body intellectual mechanism with the life force to act. The senses are the instruments used for performing actions, by the act of seeing, by act of the hearing, by the act of the है ना, speech. These are only the instruments through which we perform actions, है ना. Without the senses, like without the hands or without the arms, without the legs, these are also helping these are the karmendriyas, है ना. Those are the gyanendriya sensory organs. These are the karmendriya. Then these are all help in doing the actions. The soul could not have experienced the sensation of the taste, touch, sight, smell or sound. Usko kuch, he is not actually affected by all these things. Is the body only who is actually get affected by this. So despite all the instruments of the action, if one does not put in efforts, nothing is ever done. So cheshta or the efforts are the another ingredient, and that comes from your mind and the intellectual and the ego. So God is seated within the body of all the living beings as a witness based upon their past karmas also, like the purva sanskara. He also bestows different abilities to different people to perform action. That's why we all do always a good act. These act always gives a result to you. Your acts makes the person like this. If you are doing the sattvic or the tamasic or the rajasic one, these makes the person like all the gunas affected our body. Three
If
types.
what are the five? Adhisthana, Karta, senses, Cheshtha, and what is the other one?
Yeah. Just a sec. Yeah, adhishthanam is the body. Then
Yeah,
the karta is
Karta is
the
the doer.
soul. The karanam, there are the senses, or the cheshta is the actually act, basically the efforts. Cheshta is the efforts. Daivam are the divine providences. Okay.
Yeah, Didi.
Yeah. So three types of doer are there. Sattvic. So sattvic, who is do act which are free from the attachment, does not speak words of the ego, have patience, enthusiasm, free from joy or sorrow, free from any type of attachment, and even also the uh, any type of the detachment also is in getting the work accomplished or not. He does only do his duty without thinking ki what will be the result. He totally do his act in favor of the god. Then the rajasic is full of the attachment, desires, what will be happen, I will get failure, or I will won this war, whatever. So his actions are greedy and the nature of causing trouble to others also, because while winning all the competitive whatever the competition, he may give trouble to others also, and that is impure and indulges in joy and sorrow. Okay, so this is the rajasic doers. And the last one is a tamasic one, whose are the agyani, without knowledge person. Okay, they don't have so much of knowledge. Actually, they are totally agyani, devoid of the spiritual education. They are arrogant, cunning, and destroys the livelihood of others also. They may give harm to other people also. They also always who mourns, lazy, and long winged. Those are the tamas one. Okay, happiness is also related to the sattvic and the rajasic and the tamasic. Rajasic happiness is like a poison in the beginning, but results is like a nectar. And rajasic one is beginning is like a nectar, but result like a poison. And tamasic one, happiness arise from sleep, laziness, and attachment. So first of all, he was a happy son. Then again, all those acts. Then the knowledge is also related to the sattvic, rasic, and the knowledge by which man sees the one imperishable divine spirit. That is actually right knowledge, the sattvic knowledge present in all separate beings with equanimity, without division. He knows that the God is present in all human beings. He sees. To each and every human being with the equal eye. Rajasic one, the knowledge by which man have different type of emotions for all the beings. The person, if he earns from one person, maybe his act is different with the other one, and if he feels ki this person is not good for me, then he may uh, differ opinion for the other person. So rajasic knowledge is different type of emotions for the all the aim, so he should consider that knowledge as a rajas. And the tamasic one is a false knowledge. Basically, is person it attached to its the body itself. It's devoid of logic, devoid of spiritual meaning, and it's full of the anger and that lust, all these things. Wisdom work on the wisdom or the intelligence. So, sattvic wisdom is the intellect which knows accurately the path of inclination and the path of liberation. Duty, non duty, fear, fearlessness, bondages, and salvation. All this is the sattvic wisdom. And the rajasic wisdom is basically through which human intelligence one does not know the reality of unrightedness. And in the same way, it considers all other things to be opposed. Acha, this is a tamasic one. Rajasic one is the reality of unrightedness, duty, and the non-duty, and that intellectual is rajasic. Okay. Tamasic one may even the unrightedness, the same way it considers all other things to be opposite, and the this type of wisdom is tamasic. So I think so. This is the last. No, something is there also. Okay. So here our Bhagavad Gita syllabus is completed according to our UGC NET syllabus. Yeah. If you have any question, you can ask. Any doubt? I will share the